Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I want to show you my handstand push-up training. I also want to discuss some of the mistakes that I have made in the past and what changes I have made to my routine. I will share the learnings with you. So let's get started. I will start the workout by warming up my shoulder external rotators and my upper back muscles. To warm up my shoulder external rotators, I will be using one resistance band. So I have this band attached to a pole right there, and I will start doing some shoulder external rotations. I am using this resistance band to do shoulder circles. There are a bunch of different names for this exercise, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that what exercise you are doing and what's your form. So while doing this exercise, what I'm making sure is that I'm trying to stabilize my scapula as much as possible. So as I move my arm in a circle, a lot of different muscles will engage, like the lower traps and upper traps, and a bunch of different other muscles will engage. So what we need to make sure here is that as we rotate our arms, we need to make sure that we try to stabilize the scapula all the time. So as I come up, I am trying to pull the band apart. So in this scenario, muscles like rhomboids that helps in retracting the shoulder blades will work, and also muscles like lower traps and upper traps will work to keep the shoulder blades in the right position. And as we move up, again the muscles surrounding the shoulder blades need to stabilize the shoulder blade so that the shoulder ball and socket joint can be in the right position. So as I move this band, I'm also having a good mind muscle connection with all the muscles surrounding the shoulder blade. I am also making sure that the shoulder blade muscles are under my control rather than just going through the motion. Once that is done, I usually move on to my handstand training, but I will show you one more exercise here that can be added as a warm-up or an accessory exercise for the handstand push-up. I have a brick right here, and this is usually done with a kettlebell, and it is called kettlebell bottoms up. But I don't have a kettlebell right now, but this brick will work great. So first of all, we will try to mimic the handstand push-up motion. What we will try to do is that we know the handstand push-up motion looks something like this, where our arms are around at 45-degree angle in the scapular plane, and we try to push ourselves up. As we add the brick on our palms or a kettlebell on our palms, there's a lot of instability happening here on the shoulder blades and on this joint. So what will happen in that scenario is that we would want to actively control the internal and the external rotation of the shoulders, and this will challenge the whole ball and socket joint and the shoulder blades to keep our arms in the right position. So as I move up, there's a lot of instability here happening. So my external rotators and the internal rotator will have to work, and my upper traps, lower traps, rhomboids, all the muscles of my shoulder blades will have to work to stabilize the shoulder blade. So this is a great exercise that can be added as a warm-up or even as an accessory exercise to improve the handstand push-up. I can feel the internal and the external rotators working hard here. shoulder blades are getting a bit tired. But that's the main challenge here. You have to always keep those scapular muscles under control. You should not let it go, because once stability goes away from the shoulder blades, injuries can happen quickly. So one of the ways I can explain it is that when you want to jump from a ground, you want to make sure that the ground itself is hard and rock solid. So if the ground itself is not stable, you will not be able to jump high. Similarly, we want to make sure that whenever we are moving a joint in space, the muscles surrounding the joint are supporting the joint itself to move freely by providing a solid platform. So in this case, we want to move the ball and socket joint in space. So what we want to make sure is that the muscles surrounding the shoulder blades should assist and provide a solid platform for this ball and socket joint to move freely, especially when it is loaded. Next, after the warm-up, I have moved on to handstand training. So lately I have been a bit obsessed with my handstand form. I'm always trying to improve it. So in the past, I have tried doing handstand push-ups with not so great handstand form, and it doesn't look good, and the handstand push-ups also doesn't go well. I will put a clip on this screen, and you can see there are a lot of links, broken links or weak links in the handstand. The chances of me losing my balance is very high because my body is not under my control because of those weak links, and the set doesn't go that well. So I am constantly trying to improve my handstand form. Some of the cues that I use is completely elevating my arms and using my upper traps. This is a mistake that I have made in the past, that I used to elevate my arms but not to a point where I use my upper traps. So when you elevate them completely, you start using your upper traps, and you can feel the upper traps working on a free handstand. And then I also make sure that my lats are not tight, because when you do a lot of pull-up work, your lats get tight. So I make sure that it is not tight, and I also make sure that I give a posterior pelvic tilt. So engaging my abs, especially the six packs, and engaging my glutes, and also pointing out my toes and tightening or contracting my quads. When I try to implement these 4 to 5 cues, I always see that the solid line that has to be there in a handstand comes up well. So it requires a lot of practice and coordination. So that is something that I have been working on lately, and I think I am doing pretty well. So now, as my main working sets, I will do some elevated pike push-ups. So one thing that I make sure is that, or anybody who's trying to train handstands should make sure is not to disrespect the elevated pike push-ups. I know it looks easy, or it doesn't look as good as the overhead press or the handstand push-up itself, but the only way to build up volume to do handstand push-ups or to get started with handstand push-ups is by doing elevated pike push-ups. I find 2 main problems with elevated pike push-ups. One is the core compression needed. So as you move on to pike, as you move on to doing more pike elevated push-ups, you might feel cramp in your quads as you go into that pike position. So what you can do is that as you practice those pike elevated push-ups, you can add L-sits to your routine so that you can get a better core compression strength, and in that way it will not be a hindrance for your elevated pike push-ups progressions. Another problem is finding the right amount of elevation. What I have done to get the right amount of elevation every time is that I have used my straps from gymnastics rings. So as far as my current progression is concerned, the amount of elevation that I need is till my upper chest level. So as I get better at it, I can move it up, but I think I can move it up till my neck level or something like that, and till from there onwards I can start doing handstand push-up negatives, freestanding handstand push-up negatives. So that is the plan. So I will quickly take you through this setup once again. I have a fat bar. It makes sure that this strap doesn't slip off from its position. And then I have this main strap where I will anchor my feet. And I have this second strap which will help me get into the position. I will show you the use of that. But before that, I'll show you the parallels. Right below this main strap, I have a tile. This is a square tile, and next to the square tile I have placed the mat, and these two parallels are nearly my shoulder width apart. So, and I will hold this parallel right at the center. So this is the right position for me, and this is where I feel it to be most comfortable. I will quickly give a demonstration of how I do this exercise and why I like it more than chest to wall push-ups. At least for now, this is my preferred exercise over chest to wall push-ups. So I will just quickly demonstrate the exercise. I will anchor my foot here, and then I will move on to this second strap. So first foot, then I'll anchor to the main strap, and then I'll anchor my feet on the main strap, and then get to this position. So this is the right amount of position for me. This feels comfortable as I do the handstand push-up. This is what feels the most comfortable for me. So let me try to get 2 to 3 reps. This is my warm-up set. That was my warm-up set. Now what I will try to do is that I will move the position of the parallels a bit forward so that I can show you how it affects the form and how uncomfortable it feels if you don't choose the right positioning of the parallels. I will pull this mat a bit forward. Let's just say in this position, and I will hold at the center of this parallel. You can see this is not the right, this doesn't look similar to handstand push-up, although it is an overhead press, but it doesn't look similar to handstand push-up. So this is the reason why I discussed about the positioning of the parallels with respect to the main strap. You have to experiment a bit when you do it for the first time, but from then there onwards, for the upcoming sessions, you know how to do it. I have been doing around 6 to 5 reps in every set by keeping 1 or 2 reps in reserve. So this time I will try to do 6 reps or 5 reps in each set, and I will also note down everything on my training log. So let's see how it goes. I will end this video here. I hope this video was helpful. I hope this will help you with your handstand push-up training. I will see you next time. Bye.